My name is Christian Basel. Years ago, I had an idea. I got myself a TARDIS. Took it to new places, met a lot of new people, took some great pictures, and talked Doctor Who. From Krypton Radio and the creators of the Hanging With web show, this is the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Join me on my latest adventures and become part of the legend. I'm such an idiot. I could not find the start button to save my life. I was fussing. When you got so many pictures and videos and stuff, it's like really hard to like move around a bit there. So if you guys ever work with StreamYard, it's a funny little system because once you put in too many videos and too many pictures and you start going, okay, I'm going to hit that button. Oh, I can't find that button. So I was sitting here and paused for a little bit there. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to the legend, the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basel. Today, a little more somber of an episode as we honor our friends, our absent friends out there in the Whoniverse, our recent passings. Especially, we were talking about the legendary David Warner, Bernard Cribbins. Not many people, and we will go into this for our friends who don't know much about. There is a connection to Leave It to Beaver in the Whoniverse through Tony Dow, and we will get to that in just a moment. And it couldn't be a talk about geekdom and I wish she did make it to the Whoniverse one day and she didn't, but we can't really talk without going with Nichelle Nichols because she was a big part of everybody in the geekdom out there. Again, get your chats up and running. Please join us in our live chat to honor our absent friends who recently passed. Also, don't forget, right now, you can please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're just one short of, I think we're at 2,250, and that number keeps fluctuating a little bit out there. So right now, if you're on the Facebook page, you can swing over right now to our youtubechannel.com, the legend of the Traveling TARDIS. And also, don't forget, you can also follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/the Traveling TARDIS with, wait a minute, that's wrong. Hang on a second. 62,000. Wait a minute. Nope. This is going to be a good thing. Hang on a second. Okay. Let me try that again. Go to our facebook.com, the Traveling /the 63,000 Whovian followers that just recently came in. So we want to thank our friends at Tampa Bay Comic-Con. If you're just joining us, welcome out there. No Melanie today, so I'm taking care of the chat. So all of you behave today as well so that I can get through these chats, which just basically means everybody's going to go completely ape while none of the chat's out there. So let's go ahead and get it started, folks. Let me go ahead and introduce our first guest. All the way from Tampa Bay Comic-Con, it is the lovely Mark Muncy of Erie, Florida. How you doing, Mark?
Doing great. Trying a new camera today, so hope it's looking good for everybody. So publisher got me a new one, so I'm pretty happy with it. So
good. Did you survive?
It's a little off from the screen though, so I have to kind of so forgive me if I'm not making eye contact. So
no, that's fine. As Robin Williams said, he get lack of sleep gives you vapor trails. I'm still suffering from that from Tampa Bay.
Oh gosh.
Gosh. I don't know. I asked, it's just like a friend of mine is like, how long does it take for you to really recover over a convention? And it's like, it could be a month.
It takes time weeks. For the next convention. I'm doing Sarasota Con this weekend, then Phantasm next weekend, then Dragon Con 2 weeks after that, and then Mothman Festival 2 weeks after that. So and then it's Halloween, and it's just nuts. So
yeah, I know. And we're going to try to do something for Halloween, which is around the corner now.
Yeah, literally. I'm in my zone. So,
and if anybody doesn't, the theme parks down here, Disney World, SeaWorld, Universal Studios, they're already putting out. It's not even past August.
Most of them are starting their Halloween events in September. I mean, Spirit and everything are all opened up. Halloween starts in August now. So yeah,
exactly. Speaking of which, we're going to bring in our lovely friend who we haven't seen in quite some time. We're talking about the legendary podcaster himself, Dr. Freedom. Brian Risse, how you doing there, Brian? It's been some time, brother. How you doing?
I have no idea how he's doing that many cons and staying sane.
I've had to lower mine.
Yeah, because depending on the con, it could be a week to recover or more. Yeah, because you get so settled into that that zone, and then you got to come back to reality, which always stinks.
That's how I keep it going. I don't have to come back to reality.
Yeah, you do the best you can and keep moving forward, I guess.
And it's one of those things like you don't want to go home from the vacation, but you're tired of the vacation, so the vacation's getting tired of you. So you're like, I need my bed. I can't sleep in this bed anymore out there. Let's get some hellos to Ramona and Neko Bad. How you doing? I couldn't get on the Facebook, so I decided to hang out here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's where we need the support. That's where we need the love. Get the Facebook channel going there. No worries. Good crowd here tonight, as always. Speaking of a good crowd, let's bring in our next host, Mr. James Enstall from Geek to Me Radio. How you doing there, James? You can check him out every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I think your microphone's off.
It is. Can you not hear me?
Oh, okay. It was just. It's a little. It's a little bit down.
I need to get a new headset. This is a quiet mic.
Yes, please.
Sorry. I'll fix that for next time.
No, you're fine there. James, so tell us a little bit about where people can catch you as well.
You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Geek2Me Facebook.com/Geek2Me We have a weekly show on terrestrial radio, KTRS 550 AM, broadcasting out of St. Louis. So every Sunday night, as Christian said, at 10 p.m. Eastern, we have a brand new show brought to you every week, something in geek culture. And hopefully you'll check us out.
Okay. Speaking of podcasts, there's Dan Hollyfield. He runs the Last Man Standing podcast. Going to have to watch on replay. Chores to do before it rains. Yeah, I know. The storms were just obnoxious over here. Oops. I don't know what that was all about, but hey, here we go. Just saw the Reverend. He's going to torture me, so I'll just say the Reverend Tom Amagon. Just saw the time only on the chat room tonight, so I've been busy. No, you understand. It's been crazy out here. So salutes to everybody from Ramona. I'm doing the thingy tonight. Speaking of doing the thingy, I have no idea why that was a transition. Mr. Joey Reynolds from Geek Radio America. We got Geek to Me Radio and Geek Radio America. That's going to confuse me at the end of the night. How you doing there, Joey?
I'm great, thanks. Geek to Me, I think, is out in St. Louis, isn't it?
Yes.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Home of the Cardinals. Yeah. Go Cards. Go Cards. Of course, I'm here, even though I got my Packer gear on. I'm here from Pittsburgh, PA,
hey,
the city of champions and the Pirates. So we're going to stretch that joke for as long as we can. But it's great to be here, considering. And if it sounds like I have a bit of something in my throat, it's because it is. Mild case of COVID. Christian, I feel your pain. So, but but I'm doing everything I can just to stay in top form, and hopefully I'll have 2 straight days worth of negative tests. So, but everything is swimmingly going along. Everything's magnificent, and no Melanie. So I guess I'll have to. Well, I'm not saying that no Melanie is magnificent. It's just I gotta sit here and look at you guys. But
no, don't tell her that. I don't want her to know. She is magnificent. We know that she is.
She is.
Yeah, it makes life easier when she's here, and I know she's been doing a lot of things. And then Dave's been doing his thing around the convention. So
especially when the cat shows up and the cat's butt is in front of the camera. That's
right.
Yeah.
And just in case, for those of you who are not aware, yes, nope, wrong one. There you go. Traveling TARDIS alert. We see anytime you see a cat in there, shout it out. That sign will come out of there.
I just wanted to say real quick, I feel your pain because that's what I got for Christmas this year.
Oh God!
I'm not kidding. The day after Christmas, I started showing symptoms. So somebody showed up to Christmas dinner with a gift we didn't want.
Wow. And for me, this started off as a sinus infection. I thought it was.
Same here.
Yeah. But at least I'm vaxxed. I'm double boosted. So, it could be far worse. It could be far worse.
Well, I won't say who the people, and I think I've said this in the stories before, but just in case, because we brought it up over here, I was not diagnosed with the C at the time that I had the C.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to the clinic, and they did the rapid test, negative. But they said, you know what, because it's so early in its infancy, we want to do, what was it, the long test. Brian, am I right about that? They have a test that they send out, and it takes like 2 or 3 days.
2 or 3 days, yeah.
2 or 3 days to respond. So in the meantime, I'm going by the quick test. I'm like, oh, well, I don't have it. So that weekend, went out and did some shopping, very needed shopping for groceries and some errands I had to run. And then that Monday, I think it was Monday or Tuesday that morning, they got the phone call. Oh, you had it. You had? Why? That wasn't cool at all. I was just like, why? So, we got a new face out here. BB Cradwell. I hope I got it right there. Bernard Cribbins, I miss him dearly. Yeah, we'll be talking about these folks in just a few moments out there. So, I'll give it a start, and I'll be running through the chat. So, be kind to me. I know everybody's going to try to make the chats jump, so I know that's going to happen out there. There we go. Mike's Bites. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us out there. And Tom swinging. Okay, wherever that was going out there. So I did want to talk about absent friends, and the question for this episode for everybody out there, and not just the folks that you see. Wait, let me go ahead and put that up. Yeah, where's it? Yeah, I'm doing everything myself again. So there you go. We're not just going to be talking about these 4 people, but some of us also have people that we want to talk about that have been hard hitting as far as the loss in the WHOniverse. Not just these 4, but there's some other names that have come up recently, some names that I wanted to address, and we just want to find out, big question, who in the WHOniverse was the one that hurt the most when we lost them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get that started. First of all, I'm going to start it out with this for my biggest loss. And I know it's not what everybody, it's not the go-to like Nichelle. She was a big impression in the geekdom world, especially for Star Trek, and people who grew up telling stories about how Nichelle has influenced them, Whoopi Goldberg and other people, celebrities, scientists, doctors, who were influenced because this woman went up there and she was helping pilot a starship in the skies out there. But if I may start off, I want to hit with the loss that hit me the worst. And one of the reasons was I met this guy face to face. And I really was hoping he would come on the show, and for whatever reason, things just didn't work out. And, time wasn't a friend at that time. Sorry. There you go, Brian. There. The late, great David Warner. Now, Dr. Freedom, I didn't get a follow-up on this, and I'm trying to see, maybe because you do the Who News, or you do the news. Christopher Eccleston on a YouTube video mentioned that he was working with David Warner. in an episode, and it was for the 60th. I'm hoping that they managed to at least film that. Or record that? Do you know if they got that or?
Not sure, but they usually record Big Finish very, very well in advance. So we can only hope that that this was already done and and in the can before this tragedy happened.
Yeah.
So
I think
they record up to like a year in advance or more sometimes. So hopefully they did.
Yeah, I think Nick Briggs said it was with the Doctor Who Beyond, for the Unbound. I'm sorry, the Unbound.
Yeah.
Where he's been the Doctor. So I think that was him meeting Eccleston. So it was tying the Unbound Doctor to the regular continuity was apparently something there.
That's awesome. I would love to have been to be Dr. Prime in one of the Dr. Primes. He would have been awesome. And I know a lot of people when I was growing up, but his loss just hit me the hardest there. Everybody, what are your thoughts on David Warner and his passing? Anybody can jump in on this one. I'll go ahead and start pulling up chats.
Oh my gosh. I gotta go with he was such a formative actor for so many geekdoms. He was Sark in the Master Control program and Tron.
Yeah.
He was evil in Time Bandits, which is I still think one of the greatest performances of any actor of all time.
That's still one of my top 10 movies, and it's never left the top 10 list of
never will.
Yeah.
Terry Gilliam, goodness, but David Warner steals every scene he's in.
He's chewing up the scene,
having so much fun with it. But even then, on Big Finish, he's been so strong that that whole Unbound series, him hanging out with Bernice Summerfield, which is Big Finish's breakout character. That's been amazing. And I'll admit that day I watched Time After Time. I watched Time Bandits. I watched we went David Warner crazy. We went Tron, and then we watched the Doctor Who where he was in the Russian sub.
Yeah,
with recent, which I was finally glad he actually got to be on Doctor Who.
And not only that, but the guy can do not only evil or villainous, he can do comedy as well. And I think he did such a great job on Cold War as the guy who was what was the band that he was so concerned about? Starts with a V or something like that.
I thought you were talking about Duran Duran, Hungry Like the Wolf and stuff like that.
No. It was like Voltox or something. Started with a V. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Brian, out there. By the way, Mike Bites gives you this, Brian. Oh my God.
Yeah, he pops up on my show every now and then. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And then I think we ended the day with Waxwork, where he was the villain in Waxwork again, which was one of his late 80s gold. So
yeah. Oh, there we go. Oh, the con credit is now catching up. Shut up, Tom.
Plus, he was also in one of the most controversial episodes of Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Yes.
Yeah, he played the Cardassian interrogator of Jean-Luc Picard, and he was just so stirring and just captured that character so well. And of course, time after time, you brought up here. That was probably one of my first times I'd actually seen David Warner. And there he is playing off against Malcolm McDowell as H.G. Wells. Mm-hmm. And I saw that as a kid because I used to show this on late night movie on the weekends. Yeah. And he was just, oh gosh, I believe the character's name was John Leslie Stevenson, but he also turned out to be Jack the Ripper. And he was just that little speech in this scene right here you're picturing, where he's talking about how mankind did not become a utopian society. They had actually surpassed him, that he was an amateur in this time. The way he delivered that speech was just so chilling.
It's not only that, but these two together are right. And the most, I wouldn't say cringy scene, but the one scene that really startled me in that movie there.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was just like, oh, that's pure evil. That man can pull off evil. But I mean, he was in Cold War and he was playing this really nice I think I can't remember his name. I think he was a professor or something like that. If anybody knows the name of the band in there, please toss it up in the chats out there. But I always had this dream, Brian. What if these two switched roles? If Malcolm took the Stevenson character and David Warner took H.G. Wells, what kind of movie that would have been?
Well, given the fact that these two are what are in my encyclopedia club. And the reason I call them the Encyclopedia Club is these are the kind of actors that could do an 8-hour miniseries of just reading the encyclopedia. And
thank you, chats. Ultravox, thank you. Go ahead,
yeah,
Brian.
and you would be captured. Yeah, you would be captured and watching every minute of them from Aardvark all the way to Zug, because they just had that appeal, that charisma, that ability to just suck you in. And I could see them, alternating roles here, because Malcolm McDowell is, of course, brilliant as well in everything he does. Mm-hmm. So it would have been an interesting combo, or switch if they'd been around. Yeah, I could see it either way.
And Warner could pull the comedy chops, because there's enough comedy in that bit too. Because I mean, he did, what was it, Man with Two Brains with Steve Martin?
Yes,
he did the mad scientist in that. It was another one of those bit parts I'd forgotten, and oh man, he pulled that off so well too. The guy was just, he could do anything, and it's and then his voiceover work where he was on Batman the Animated Series, he was Ra's al Ghul for a whole generation of us nerds. And
if you want to see two doctors in a movie two doctors in a movie together, The Omen,
with Patrick
Troughton. So you get to see them together for the only time I think that you can technically have two doctors that way out there. And Lord Thought, I'm glad you're getting over it. Prevent con crud, wash your hooves. Oh my god. Okay, we're gonna go to a commercial break. On that note, when we return, we're gonna discuss the folks that you see here in the banner. We were discussing Absent Friends, and don't forget to put into the chat, is there somebody in the WHOniverse that passed? It doesn't have to be any of these four. It could be somebody recent. It could be somebody in the past that it got to you when their passing hit. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tuned in, and become part of the legend. Commercial break. Good.
Down near me. Falling for Can I get a little bit more leg? There we go. Think of yourself as Madonna, 1982. All right. Now, give me one that's sassy. Fantastic. Yeah, we need a little bit more energy in here. Don't throw a fit now. Divas, all of them. Divas.
Welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basel, and if you were lucky enough to come to see us, Mark and I, over at Tampa Bay Comic-Con, you would have seen that was happening at the photo shoot with the Dalek out there. And definitely, we want to give a shout out to Dalek Hal on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow him and his adventures, as well as Dalek Ren. But Hal's the best place to go to for right now. I know that Dan is changing the Facebook. I think he's already done it to a new one, because I think he is I think he wants to incorporate all the Daleks that he's got into one, but it's also facebook.com/Dalek Hal. And you can follow Hal and Ren right there, and then you can spring off to go see Ren. Welcome back. This is going to be a discussion about Absent Friends. We had our discussion with David Warner. And here's one that people didn't know about. You better know him as Wally Cleaver from Beaver to Beaver. But he has a Doctor Who connection, which this is what the funny part out there. It took me a while to figure out, because if anybody who watched the Doctor Who TV movie, if you are lucky enough to see the actual end credits, his name pops up.
Yep.
And this is the legendary Tony Dow, better known as Wally Cleaver from the hit series. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Yeah, he had shifted to behind the camera stuff early 80s. And he was actually down here, Universal Studios, Florida, back when we were actually still filming TV shows and stuff. He worked on Swamp Thing that I was interning on. He worked on directing some episodes. He was behind the camera on a lot of Superboy and our other show, Super Force, all these really terrible shows. I got him to come over to my apartment one day, and he recorded an answering machine message that as Wally Cleaver.
Oh my God.
He was amazing to hang out with. And then he headed off to Hollywood as the work here dried back. He was heading back to Hollywood, as he called it, back to Hollyweird, he liked to call it. And it was great that he stayed behind the camera and then wound up producing special effects, getting with a lot of really better special effects companies than what he was doing here.
Yeah, and he was visual effects producer for the Doctor Who TV movie. Yep. And also I think he did he did other stuff too. I could swear I know he did Babylon 5.
He did.
Yep.
Yeah. That was something else like
Yep.
Oh, you're right, Lord Thoth. David and Nichelle were the ones that hit the geekdom world hard out there. David hated interviews usually. Yep. I heard about that. He doesn't do much interviews, but I remember going him to he was a sweet guy, and just things didn't happen. He was actually going to be on our show, and of course he got work. He was doing other stuff, and just things happen. David, hush. There are only four lights. He was in 11's Cold War. Yep, there we go. And we got all the Ultravox comments. Don't forget, if there's somebody you want to talk about that was a major loss to you in the universe, but they're passing, please go ahead and put it in the chats right now. But that was what I thought was a very unusual one, and Tony just passed recently.
Right in that wave.
And the strange part about it is he passed, and it was a mistake at first. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I guess what I read, because we released it because we were following everybody else, and they said that, oh yeah, he had passed, but then there was a miscommunication with his wife, and then I think he passed the following day, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was sent to hospice care, and they said he had limited time, and his wife thought he had passed, so she, said he had passed. I went to his agent. His agent posted it, but then his family said, no, he's still here. She's just gone home. He's still here, but then he passed like within a few hours. That happens a lot. I think that happened with Tawny Katane just last year, same thing, and some other stuff like that.
Who was it? It was a Bond girl. I think it was Tanya Roberts.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was another one.
Roberts.
Yeah, she passed, and then oh my goodness, she's back.
Dawn Wells, same thing happened with her, where she was fine, and she's getting over it, and then no, she didn't. So within 12 hours of the original posting. So
yes, Tom. Somebody said Ultravox. That's great. It's out there. Don't forget, please like, share, comment, subscribe, because that's how we get the algorithms going, and we are growing at a very rapid pace. And we're including a lot of shorts that I still haven't even posted on YouTube. I'm putting them out on a daily basis. So there are a lot of fun little shorts and little segments that we'll be doing from time to time. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and comment. That helps our algorithm. So go over there right now and just subscribe to our YouTube channel. The next person I wanted to talk about, no, there wasn't in any particular order, so I'm going to bring him up. How did you guys feel about Bernard Cribbins leaving the planet for the last time?
It was so sad, because we had just seen him on set filming for the 60th anniversary special, and but at the same time we saw him in a wheelchair. We were also hoping that it was just for the role, but at the same time we all know he was 93, if memory serves, and
yes, I think you're right.
He was just so funny and so amazing. Like one of the things RTD revealed in his book or later on was the scene where he has the paintball gun with the Dalek, and I can't remember if it was Stolen Earth or Journey's End, somewhere along that line. That was his idea. He sent that to RTD, and RTD said, "Okay, it's in, Bernard."
I just love his interpretation of Wilf, and when I saw the advertisements for the end of time that he was going to be companion, I was like, how are they going to pull that off? And I just loved him because him and David in those scenes, and especially where the one scene where I've now seen it in the circling around the social medias, that the one scene they're sitting at the restaurant and the 10th Doctor turns to him and goes, I'm going to die. And he goes, I will too one day. I'm just like, no, don't say that. So yeah, that was a harsh thing. I don't know Bernard Cribbins outside of the Doctor Who movie with Peter Cushing. I know there's people in the UK that could run rings around me in other shows and stuff like that, but all my knowledge of Bernard Cribbins is all of his work in Doctor Who. And
Right Said Fred, was his number one hit, kind of a wacky comedy album thing, and he could do all the voices of what was the character, the Wumbles. And there was a great episode of what is it, the music television show, the music quiz show they did in the UK where David Tennant guest hosted, and Bernard Cribbins was like a frequent guest on it, and so they did a whole episode. It was all science fiction stuff, and he just stole the show, the whole thing, and it was Catherine Tate was one of the guests on it, and him, and it was just funny because he was just totally ribbing on the fact that Catherine Tate knew nothing about Doctor Who through the whole thing.
I think I remember that. I remember him being on a show. I forgot what it was. It was being hosted by David Tennant. I forgot what.
Something.
There were two people sitting on either side. Of it was
Noel
just
Fielding, and it's you can find it on YouTube, but I think it's like something addressed. I don't know. It's one of those oddball British names that I can never remember for their quiz shows.
Right,
have nothing to do with what they're talking about.
Yeah, I just remember that one team was mentioning something about Daleks having foreplay sex, and of course Bernie couldn't hold himself. He goes, "Oh, we had to get some WD-40." I'm just like, oh my god, it's just like he's like the dirty old man I want to be when I grow up.
Yeah. Plus, I remember he did a short series with Freema Agyeman. I believe it was called Uncle Jack's Boat.
He did. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. I have some of that. So amazing fellow.
Gotcha. We got a lot of chats in there right now. Let's bring up Andrew Thomas. If you haven't subscribed, go for it, Andrew. Thank you so much. I have Bernard's first Doctor Who project on Blu-ray. Oh, okay.
Very nice.
Cool beans. Yep. Mike Spite says so sad with Bernard. And Andrew Moore says Bernard Cribbins I grew up with as a kid, as many did. He did so many children's programs. The Railway Train and Wolf was such a wonderful, kind, and supportive character. I think it was just well written for him. He played it so well. And to go, what I love about when it comes to Doctor Who characters, when they start off like the comedic character, and then you get to know when writing just supports them, that they get to be more of a dramatic figure. And you can combine the two, the comedy and the drama together, and just play it off so well, especially what he did in The End of Time. I love you, Bernie. You were awesome. And I wish I hope, that you were part of the 60th anniversary, that we get to see a lot of you in there. Because I know you went to the hospital while they were filming. So I hope they got some good stuff out of them.
Yeah, originally he wasn't supposed to have as large a role, and then sadly the actor who played Jeffrey Noble passed away.
Right.
When they brought him in, and that's how that character came out. So sadly, but in a way, like I said, sometimes life deals these cards out, and we were just fortunate to have him with us as long as we did. Given a lot of people don't see 93 or anything like that anymore. So I was just glad he was with us just long enough for the 60th.
But much like Doctor Who, I think I'm hoping that when people see like a talent like Bernard Cribbins comes out there, that when they hear the stuff that he's done, that they'll go back and remember him and see the stuff that he's done. And I'm hoping I have some time that I will be able to do that more than just Doctor Who. But speaking of which, folks, we are going to get a commercial break. When we return, we are going to continue our discussion of absent friends for the geeks we've lost in the Whoniverse just recently. And if you have any tributes that you want to pay homage to folks who doesn't have to be the most recent ones, it could have been somebody who meant a lot to you, please put it in the chats. We'll be right back in just a few moments.
We are a touring acoustic duo crashing kitchens around the country. We go from house to house every Friday night, and we create music, we create food, a good time, we stream it live, and we do it for free. So now we're just really kind of like trying to develop it and build a community group that people believe in, then they'll help us. So we played from our rehearsal room, we played from the bathroom, thankfully that didn't catch on.
I probably played guitar in my room, not for anyone, in front of anyone, nobody heard, for probably about 10 years.
And then one Friday night, we played from the kitchen. It's the main place people want to be. It's where the food is, it's where the drink is, it's where the best lighting is. You can go to any party and I guarantee you, the kitchen is going to be popping.
Our ultimate goal, I think, would be to crash kitchens every Friday all around the world.
Hi, my name is Jamie Engel, critically acclaimed author of The Toilet Papers, Places to Go While You Go, a short story collection suited to match your bathroom needs. Only have to go a little? No problem. I've got stories under 1,000 words for you. Far from poopin'? I've got you covered, with stories over 5,000 words to keep you occupied, while your latrine stays occupied. And that's not all. The Toilet Papers is endorsed by the fine folks from Squatty Potty, the stool for better stools. But don't take my word for it. See what Dookie the Squatty Potty unicorn has to say on YouTube. You won't be disappointed. Well, I've got to go. But you can grab your copy of The Toilet Papers on Amazon in ebook or print, or get an autographed copy from me at therightangle.com. And don't worry, I promise I'll wash my hands first. The Toilet Papers. You might just stay in the bathroom longer than you need to.
They're not Autobots.
Yeah, they're definitely not Autobots. Welcome back to the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. My name is Christian Basel, and we are with our wonderful team, as Tom put it, the sausage party. Jerk. Anyway, I'm here with the lovely Mark Muncy. I'm here with the lovely Brian Barres from Dr. Freedom on the YouTube channel. You can also check Mark Muncy out on his YouTube channel, Eerie Travels. You can also check out Mr. James Eggstall. You do have a YouTube channel, right? And it's Speak to Me Radio.
Yep, exactly.
Gotcha. And I have Mr. Tony Reynolds all the way on the other end, Geek Radio. I'll never get you guys. That's going to be a tongue twister while you two are on the same show. Geek Radio America on wherever you can find it. I was hoping Tony would jump in and say where you can find it out there.
Live 365. Yes.
Awesome. And we're going to continue our story about absent friends, people who've lost, people who have affected you in the Whoniverse with their loss out there. The chats continue. Bernard touched people's hearts in Doctor Who. Yeah. And the way he portrayed that role is just immensely, glad to have him as the granddad of the 10th Doctor. Yeah, there you go. While in Cervix, he never fired his gun in anger. Andrew Morris Bernard also did a lot of Jack and Nori stories. He was on. Never mind the Buzzcocks. There we go.
That was the name of it. I knew the last word.
There you go. Andrew continues. I still can't wait to see Bernard in the 60th anniversary. We can't either. Andrew Morris says Noel Fielding and Phil.
That was the other two guests that episode.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got it. Okay, gotcha.
Buzzcocks. Yep.
Gotcha. Then there. Tom, stop it off out there. Julie brings in. Hey, hello, Julie Foster. I loved Wilf. He was a favorite of mine from Voyage of the Dam, and I was excited when he came back on a regular basis. Also, Elizabeth Sladen as Sarah Jane. They were regular people being put into unusual experiences, and took it in stride. That's right out there. Andrew continues. Bernard was also in the parachute regime in World War II and wore his real insignia on the show for Wilf. Wow. Okay. Bernard. Oh, okay. Just a repeat out there. So I'm a big. Yeah.
I just had a flashback to the horror of glam rock.
Oh my God.
Because he played a record producer in that Big Finish.
Oh, he
song.
did?
Yeah.
I've only heard that in bits and pieces. I got to listen to that again.
Well, definitely listen to it because you definitely want to hear the quote-unquote stylized theme they did for the end.
Yes. Yes.
He was very good in that one, Horror of Glam Rock.
Yep.
Gotcha. So, gentlemen, we'll take it one by one. And, Brian, we'll go ahead and start with you. The loss in the WHOniverse doesn't have to be these guys. It could be anybody. The loss that took you by storm the most. Which one?
Liz Sladen, because I found out literally just as I was getting ready to go into work. And when I was working at the previous plant, we did 10-hour shifts. And for that whole shift, it was just weighing down on me like I was dragging this anchor with me. You know, it just,
yeah.
You know, the fact that here's this person who I never got to meet, but they had come into my living room for so many decades, and it always been such a warm character, you know, someone I always looked forward to seeing on my screen and, you know, always wanted to meet, but, you know, now they're gone. And I literally had a tear in my eye for all 10 hours of that shift. And I think I just lost it after I got out to the parking lot. You know, it took me a few minutes to finally just collect myself enough to even start the car to go home.
Damn.
Because it was just such a heavy hit, you know. And I'm sitting there thinking, why is this person hitting me so hard that I never met them, but at the same time, they felt like, you know, I lost a friend.
And that was the same thing I felt about David, because I had met him before, and even though it was just a short period of time, he was just the sweetest guy. And I mean, nothing like the baddie he's in his. I mean, he's actually as nice as the professor in Cold War, where he was. I would talk to him about Tron. I talked to him about. Time Bandits.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too.
Yeah.
I didn't get to that one. The one I wanted to talk to him about was Time Bandits because I told him the ET story.
Liz hit hard because she was doing Sarah Jane Adventures, and they had to cancel it, you know, mid-season. And it was doing well, and it had introduced my kids that were having some issues reconnecting with Doctor Who. But then when they started watching Sarah Jane, so then they wanted to go back. Well, they were loving New Who, but watching Sarah Jane Adventures got them to go back and watch some classic Who with her. So that hit double hard for me too. That was rough.
I didn't know what to think. And you know how something is announced and it doesn't even hit you, and it may take hours before it actually completely hits you that this has taken place, and then after which you're just you're dumbfounded. It's finally caught up to you. I mean, I don't want to be my own impression, but when my dad passed, I did cry. But then for quite some time, you know, it was almost like my body didn't acknowledge it. It wouldn't acknowledge it. And then just one day I was by myself somewhere, something happened, and I completely lost it. It finally just started kicking in. And every once in a while I would get that feeling. But I mean, for somebody who you've never met, to have an impact with you, to just, you know, rip out your heart as they've left the planet, That's a lot. That's something to say out there. Let me see. We got more chats. Yeah, we got a few more chats out there. Ramona's Decepticons might be interested. Okay, yeah, they probably would. Mike Bites, Liz's passing broke my heart. I think it broke a lot of hearts out there. I'm going to save this one chat because I think I know what you're going to say. Mark, who was the one that got you the most?
Oh, for me, well, it had to be the Doctor's best friend, Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart himself, Nicholas Courtney. Yeah, my autograph that I love dearly. He was supposed to be at MegaCon, never met him in person. And he got sick and couldn't make it that year, and he never recovered. And it was so sad. He had just shown up on Sarah Jane Adventures, so we knew he was coming back. They had written parts for him for some new Who bits that he could just never seem to quite work out. So they always had to make excuses for him to be in Peru or something like that. But his whole deal with Pertwee, hanging out with him, hanging out early days of Tom Baker, and and then even coming back with Sylvester McCoy in Battlefield, probably one of my favorite episodes of all time. And then doing the Big Finish stuff for so long. He was the first of the classic actors to come back and do Big Finish.
Love Minuet in Hell.
Oh,
that one is the whole premise of the story of Minuet in Hell. I'm like, wow, that never, just that premise. But
yeah, and he did it till his dying day. And I've got his wonderful 5 rounds rapid biography, and it really was. I grew up with him. It was like losing a father figure. It was like losing, the Doctor's best friend. I felt it, and when they did that tribute to him in that episode where Matt Smith was like, "Tell the old man to get ready. We're gonna go on one more run." Oh, you missed him. That hit. That hit it all again.
That wasn't fair, and I think. To me, and this is just a personal thing, I think they should have just left it at that.
Yes, left it at that. The Cyberman thing was
Cyberbrig was a little bit going way too far. I just think that would have been the way it should end it. And for me, it was the same thing when they had that one YouTube video, which was I understand the spirit of it, and I did appreciate it, the Sarah Jane tribute. But for me,
Goodbye Bannerman Road. Yeah.
Well, yeah, Goodbye Bannerman. For me, I really want their characters to live on. I don't want them to have an end story. Yeah. Like they say, Doctor Who does. The Doctor doesn't like endings. Ramona, no, I got it. I just you don't understand me trying to manipulate around between social medias on my thing while the show's running is a pain in the ass. So,
well, that's why it's so amazing that their characters are going on now in Big Finish because. Yeah. John Coleshaw does such an amazing job.
Oh yeah, he's awesome.
You can't tell the difference. Yeah.
And Sadie Miller is, Sarah Jane. It's like they never went away. They just capture their essence so well. It's like, my old friends are still there.
That's exactly when I listen to those. I'm so happy because they just, I literally am back and they're still with me. So
yeah. And that's the fun part about it too is that they got the mannerisms, they got the voice, they got the technique. And when they have the good, and not only that, they got the music.
Yeah,
they made it sound music, and it's just and when like Sadie picked up her mother really well. Tim really picked up on the third Doctor. John's the Brigadier, he's got a lot of voices down. But I mean, it's not just they got the voices, but they've got the mannerisms. They've got the characters down.
The relationship.
Yeah, it's almost like they just picked up the ball from where the others have left off and said, let's keep playing.
Unfilmed episodes, or like listening to the lost episodes on the old original recordings, on the LPs and stuff. That's exactly what it feels like. So
yeah,
exactly.
Bravo, Big Finish as always.
Before we go to a commercial break, we definitely got to pay one tribute to somebody who wasn't part of the Whoniverse, but I'm glad I got a chance to meet her twice. And if you want to shout out in the comments, please do. Nichelle Nichols. I mean, what can you say for this loss? It was that one took place at Tampa Bay Comic-Con. We got the text on the Sunday of. I'm just like, oh my god, are you kidding me? And we had just lost. Bernie
Bernard and David Warner 2 days before.
Yeah. So everybody in the chats, if please, if you want to pay any tribute to Nichelle, we'll bring it up on the chats out there. But if anybody wants to give a shout out to Nichelle, please do. Passing the baton. Yeah, you're right, Dan. Passing the baton. I don't even think there's actual words to actually describe what she did for us. And even though she was just in a TV show, that, for a series for just a couple of years, that TV show made an impact on everybody, one way or another. No matter how, it might have been small, it may have been big, but she made a big impact with everybody in that crew.
And apparently her and David Warner had been friends for some time because when they did Star Trek 5 and 6 together, she when the Klingon was supposed to come back for 6, the actor for 6 couldn't do it. Nichelle was the one who suggested that they bring back David Warner and put him in Klingon makeup. No one would know the difference. Ivy picked up Sean Connery's part, so that's why the planet was named Shakari.
Yeah.
I will say this though, what greater tribute to Nichelle Nichols than to have a list of individuals who since 1978 have been part of NASA's astronaut corps, persons of color, women, Asians, Hispanics. If it were, I think Whoopi Goldberg had said it best when she had talked about her own memory of watching the show for the first time, and she was a 9-year-old kid in 1966. She saw her on Star Trek, and she ran around the house shouting out to her mother, "There's a black lady on TV, and she ain't no maid." And it was important because of the fact that here was a commissioned lieutenant on board a spacecraft in the future, which meant that there was a tremendous seed of hope. And we all know about the story of her being persuaded by Dr. Martin Luther King not to leave after the first year, because when she's there, she's making a difference. And I remember, and I know, Chris, you have this photograph I sent to you, the first day that Whoopi Goldberg had appeared on set in costume as Guinan on Star Trek: The Next Generation. Gene Roddenberry, this is 1988. Gene Roddenberry had invited Nichelle to welcome her to the family. And I remember the first time I saw this photo. It was I think it was in 1988-89 at a Volcon, and the audience had given a very, very warm round of applause seeing this photograph of Whoopi in costume as Guinan and Nichelle, because of the fact that this young lady, Nichelle Nichols, didn't know how much of a difference that she had made. Of course, now she's gone to her rest knowing that she changed the world. But just to think of it, for someone who just believed that she was just doing a job, and yet knowing fully well that there were other intentions for her life, plans for her to give a lot of hope, a lot of encouragement, a lot of inspiration, not just in the astronaut corps, but also in the sciences, also in civil rights. She wanted to literally march with Dr. King in the way that Bill Russell, who had played for all those years with the Celtics, had marched with Dr. King. But she couldn't physically march or appear at the demonstrations, her appearance on Star Trek, for which we still see some 55 years on, that is how she marched, and she must never be forgotten about it. I do want to say something about David Warner. Yeah. The ability to be known for one role or for many roles. I think I'd rather take the latter than the former, because after his passing, I didn't realize how many folks that I knew of who weren't fans of a certain show or a program, they just enjoyed his performances across the board. And also, when Liz Sladen was concerned, I knew that she had declined appearances at conventions, and I heard she hadn't been feeling well, but nothing was officially official.
Right.
But then when she passed away, that kind of hit me. But in the respects that I had met her twice at conventions, I interviewed her twice for American Who about some 20 years ago. She never forgot where she came from. And not many people realize, we all know the Beatles came from Liverpool, working class lads. Tom Baker, for most, yes, we know he came from Liverpool. So did Liz. Although, and now I understand why the chemistry between her and Tom Baker had worked, because they both came from the same upbringing, as it were, from the same town, from the same environment. always knowing not to be ashamed of where they came from, but also knowing to never forget where they came from, because they know how good they have it now in terms of when they were doing their roles, that this could be taken away from them. So yes, and those three individuals. And what a brilliant talent Bernard Cribbins was. I'm surprised nobody had mentioned this yet. His appearance on Faulty Towers, where, where he beat the crap out of John Cleese, and Cleese had posted up a clip of that on his Instagram page, and I think it was the episode where Basel thought that he was this critic, this hotel travel critic or something, and I don't want to give away the ending, but it was a very, very brilliant physical performance. And I've seen him in a couple of clips from other things along the way on YouTube since his passing, and very versatile, very brilliant across the board. And what a magnificent talent we've lost. And where Tony Dow is concerned, not many people kind of knew about his performance for about a year and a half on a soap opera called Never Too Young, a daytime drama, which oddly enough was replaced by a series called Dark Shadows. I don't know if anybody's heard of it, but he did a lot of work in front of camera, behind camera, and he was willing to poke fun of himself as well by appearing in I think Dickie Roberts' Child Star with I forgot the young gentleman, David Spade. That was about almost 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And also Kentucky Fried Movie, where he reprised his role as a slightly more grown up Wally Cleaver, although Jerry wasn't the beaver. But all those individuals passed. We've lost some great talent. May their memories be a blessing. And more than anything else, let's hope to just honor them by doing well. Yeah, he did sock John Cleese, didn't he? But yes, by honoring them, by remembering them, appreciating their performances and what they've done for us. And now we have to pick up their banners and march forward and honor them as well.
We just have, let me run a commercial break real fast, and then we have a final tribute for a couple people. When we return, please continue to stay logged on, tune in. We'll be right back.
You have more options than ever before when choosing a film, a television or internet series, a book to curl up with, or even a radio show or podcast. Get to know the people who are creating for you. The Hangin' With Web Show, hosted by award-winning author and journalist G.W. Pomacher, is the internet's fastest-growing web talk show series. The Hangin' With Web Show features professional, casual, in-depth interviews with creative arts and entertainment pros. Meet the people behind a digital revolution in creating more quality content than ever before in the history of media. Find the Hangin' With Web Show on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter, or simply go to www.hanginwithshow.com. That's www.hanginwithshow.com.
The Fast and Furious is similar too.
There you go. Hey, we're back here, the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS, talking about absent friends. Melanie, hush. Commercials running smoothly. What is this nonsense? Well, we're just wrapping up the episode, but I do want to make a couple mentions, and Mark, we can take this into the after party as well. One of the big mentions that I wanted to talk about, though she wasn't part of the WHOniverse, we all loved her.
Yeah.
As of this recording, I believe, she passed yesterday, right?
In Los Angeles, yeah,
she passed yesterday. Okay, so we lost Olivia Newton-John. It's like 2016 all over again. This is just like all these great people, and I did not even see that coming out. And then I heard her story that it was every day battling with cancer. And at one point, at the end, she lost the ability to even walk. So our love and hope and prayers for everybody who we've lost recently, but definitely also with Olivia Newton-John. Though I would have loved if she brought the WHOniverse on.
Well, for sci-fi, Xanadu was inspiration for the ships from Battlestar Galactica and Buck Rogers. So
And I've heard that horrible, horrible story about the ending of Grease and what it was supposed to really mean. And it became and what it was supposed to, and somebody said, "Well, it's a sci-fi show since the car flew out into the sky." I'm like, no, it's not. It is not. But I also want to give a big shout out, and Mark, you can attest for this. We actually talked about him over at Tampa Bay Comic-Con for a very short time. He wasn't in Doctor Who, but to say that he is not part of the Whoniverse or made a big impact locally here in Florida, and a lot of the conventions locally, we miss him. I mean, I still go to conventions wondering if he'll walk around the corner right into our booth. That's his J.R. Hibbard. For those of you, we did have a special tribute to this gentleman. We lost him in 2020. He was very known for dressing up as the Fourth Doctor, and he did it so well. And he got the mannerisms down. And the thing was, he always had jelly babies ready to, on standby. It didn't matter what geekdom you had. He loved standing next to you, taking a picture, and he didn't care. He loved everything, and he loved joking around with me with the traveling TARDIS at any given time, as in this picture. It's for those of you who are listening to the radio, it's all the Daenerys's holding their Starbucks coffee, and of course the Fourth Doctor holding the traveling TARDIS in his hand. And Melanie, myself, and a couple other people went over to the train area, the train station that they gave him a tribute to. He has an actual model train there, and you can go visit there. So the J.R. Hibbard Memorial Train Room. And
he would make such awesome little dioramas and stuff, and he would always throw in monsters for me. And he'd send me pictures of the zombies that he'd snuck into the graveyard, and then he hid the TARDIS, of course, in the middle of the town. I was thinking about him and Ken Spivey, the other day.
Shame on me for not bringing him up, but it's been a while. So, but Ken Spivey, who basically was Doctor Who when it came to Central Florida and North Florida. You couldn't come across back 10 years ago without coming across his name, and Time Lord Fest. And his loss was very, very tragic. We're going to go ahead into the after party, folks. You're more than welcome to stick around. Again, you know what? Here we go. Sorry, I'm not on tonight, but I'm on Earth Station Who tonight. Okay, I see where your priorities are at. That's just great. So, yes, and Melanie even mentions JR miss you so damn. I miss him. I seriously, and when we go to, especially like Central Florida Comic Con or MegaCon, I am waiting for him when we do our panels. I'm waiting for him to just come up to the front row and sit down. It was almost timely. It was almost recognized. And when you lose something like that, a bit of your heart's taken away because he's not a part of that anymore. But he is going to be always in our memory. And we do have a tribute video if you want to check it out. It's on our YouTube. Just look up J.R. Hibbard. So just because Melanie's here. And of course, Ken Spivey of Time Lord Fest made a big impact in the Whoniverse. And ever since he left us and stopped doing Time Lord Fest, the Whoniverse, as far as Florida is concerned, hasn't been the same. No, I'm not doing a convention. No, that's not happening. But oh, hello, Dan. There we go. So yeah, we've talked a lot about you, Dan. So any last words before we go into the after party? I know, Brian, you have to leave, so don't forget Dr. Freedom on the YouTube channel. He does one every morning in, what was it called? The Parking Lot Diaries? I can't remember what.
Tales from the Parking Lot.
Tales from the Parking Lot. He does morning stuff anytime the news drops, and anytime that he wants to say something about the Whoniverse, check him out. Dr. Freedom on the YouTube channel, on the Facebook page as well. So check him out over there. Thanks, Dr. Freedom, for coming on. We're going to go ahead and end the show. We're going to go into the after party. Please stick around. We're going to talk more about our absent friends. You're more than welcome to please put in the chat any friends that you may have that we didn't get a chance, that were part of the Whoniverse, that were a big deal to you. There you go. Melanie gives you kudos. Tales from the Parking Lot. It's great. So, and Dan, like the new page title. Okay. Got it.
Okay.
So stick around. We're going to the after party, folks. Dr. Freedom, thank you for joining us. Stand by as we go into the after party.
Hi, James. We wanted your loss. I'm sorry we didn't get it.
That's all right. That's all right. Next time. Hopefully not. We don't have more losses, but
wait. We got James. We got an after party. So let's we'll take it in there.
I gotta get going though. I'm so sorry. I wish I could.
Oh, you know what? Well, you know what? Just go ahead and say it. Let me go ahead and give you the floor. And I apologize for that.
No, you're fine. No, Liz Sladen was the one. I think that's universally the choice when Doctor Who, because she was such a prolific companion, doing the Big Finish audios and then getting her own series. It's one of the things I couldn't even go back and watch her series until just recently, because I knew I'd get emotional watching it. I think last time we were on the show, Christian, we were talking about Liz Sladen. You were surprised I hadn't seen the Sarah Jane Adventures yet. And I've made it through about 5 episodes of season 1. And I kind of got to reset, because it's just a huge loss to have someone of that talent, and just emanated such goodness from her to be taken from us. So that was my loss for this particular segment.
Well, not only that, but it's kind of like when I do watch the Sarah Jane Adventures now, it's kind of like I'm watching old videos of my kid sister.
Yeah.
That's what's painful. It's just like, I can't watch this. I'm just like, I know her. I know she's there. Well, anyway,
I'm alive here. That's the best thing.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
And alive here, right here.
Yeah. Right.
Now we just have to protect Brian Blessed and Tom Baker as much as possible. So,
Bubble wrap.
Brian Blessed could protect all of us. So, I don't think he's ever going to die. So.
No, he's never going to die. Going into the after party, folks. Going into the after party, and stick around because we got more to talk about when we return. Well, those guys, the screen got bigger. The screen got bigger down there. So, Mark, tell me a little bit about Wait a minute. Let me roll this clip.
Okay.
Because we got I've got a lot of videos from our friends over there.
Yeah.
Let me put that up for a second there. So I'll be moving in the background. One of our favorite clips. I'll rerun the other one again, but this is one of our favorite clips from. I don't think he's going to let you in.
You're talking to a dog here. How are you going to think he's going to show you this?
Down here, me.
Pauline, hold on.
Can I get a little bit more leg? There we go. Think of yourself as Madonna, 1982. All right. Now, give me one that's sassy. Fantastic. We need a little bit more energy, man. Oh, no, divas, all of them.
They are divas. They are all divas.
That was great.
Especially that one out there.
I kept expecting the Austin Powers. Show me love.
That's
Show
right.
me love.
It was. Those are only 2 clips of many that are going up on the YouTube channel, and I can tell you right now, Dan, who runs Dalek Hal, was having a blast.
Oh, stole the show, man! Stole the show right out the gate. People seeing him on the walk in. That's pure win.
Oh, it even got better. Dan decided to go downstairs and started dancing.
Yes.
So we have a 2-minute video of.
Yeah, I got some of the Staying Alive going, so that was pretty epic.
Oh, it was a Kate Bush song.
Oh yeah.
So it was just he was just instrumental. But I mean, we had a great time. Well, what did you think about Tampa Bay, Mark?
It was a great crowd. I mean, this is probably one of their biggest years, and considering they kind of did one last year, but had held off the 2 years prior to reasons. Yeah. It had been growing and growing. I remember when Tampa Bay Comic-Con was twice a year and had 500 to 5,000 people, depending. Yeah, and it was never that big. And then it blew up a number of years ago, right around the time Game of Thrones was just hitting. And now that it blew up. Oh, Joey, you got to go too. So.
Yes,
that's fine.
It's okay. No worries, gentlemen. Thank you for having me on board tonight. I just want to make sure I get plenty of rest because I want to make sure I have 2 consecutive.
No. I totally get that. I totally get that. So,
but again, thank you so much, gentlemen. And I will reach you. I'll send you a DM later on tonight. I'm sure you'll be interested in what I have to say. No, I have not found a way to make dog excrement and turn it into gold. I just, that was another idea.
That was actually kind of scary proposals down there.
Steve Martin, what can I say? Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Take care, Joey. If you ever need me to talk cryptids on your show, just give me a holler. So
We'll do. Thanks. Take care.
See ya.
Well, I don't know where that conversation was going.
Wow.
It was kind of. I was like,
I have no idea. Is it something did I forget deodorant and we chased everybody off? Is that what it was?
That was me. I put powder on instead of deodorant.
Just like Tampa Bay. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
No, Tampa Bay was great. I thought the crowd was good. I thought it's always I thought we've been to going to that con for 10 plus years, and I thought I've sold every copy of my books to every person in Tampa Bay that could ever possibly come there, and then we still sold out. So
we got I got 2 pictures that celebrity pictures out there.
Yes,
one I'm really proud about because it's both of them actually I'm very proud about, but this one is an internal Whovian geekdom right there.
Yeah,
Dalek Hal with Captain Jack and the Traveling TARDIS all together.
I love that Dalek Hal is not looking at the camera. I just thought that was
that's true. Actually, I think the behind the scenes is here was the funny part is that we queued the Dalek, and you saw how big those queues are.
Yeah.
So Hal could not maneuver as easily. Right. So Hal actually had to make his way to the back of the queue, and our friend Denise, who was helping out at our booth this year, Denise is awesome, and she's an excellent 13th Doctor cosplayer, and I do have videos of her going to be putting out. She was standing in line in place of where Hal would be, while where we eventually was going to take the picture because we were trying to stay in line. But we couldn't maneuver the Dalek through the queue. That was just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And Hal just stood there for a while until it was available, and then they had to open up the queue, moved Hal there. The thing is that there was no way Dan was going to maneuver Hal through the queue, so Dan had to actually stand out remote control Hal all the way up to that point. So that's what came about. So we got some wonderful stories.
That's great
from that there. Yep, running up that hill.
That was it. Yep.
We have a cheeky Dalek. Yes, Melanie. If you want to jump in, Melanie, you can. Tampa Bay Comic-Con was fantastic this year. Losing John Hurt. Okay, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was
harder than I expected.
That was tough, especially since his War Doctor Big Finish had been amazing at that point, and I thought it was going to go on for a couple of years, and they were working on. They had just gotten Derek Jacobi to do War Master,
right?
Again. So I was like, oh, they're going to do with those two. I mean, that's insane.
There's no amount of money at this point.
Oh my gosh! And I was ready for it, and then John Hurt passed away like that month. It was right after they had announced they gotten Mr. Derek. I was like, oh no.
Joey, and then there was 2. That's right, Tom.
Last man standing.
Oh, there you go, Melanie. Way to go, Mark. And there's Dan. Reverend, I'm assuming that was at me, Dan, and not the other Dan. If so, thank you. I put up a poll on if I should put Ren and Hal's content together. Sorry, you named it. Yeah, I don't know the name of it. Put it in the chat, Dan, so that I can make sure people can see it up there. But yeah, Dan changed the name of the Dalek Hal because I was looking for it and I couldn't find them at first. A question: what other sci-fi shows have you watched and enjoyed recently? I would put Strange New Worlds, The Orville, Stranger Things on my list. I really like Stranger Things.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it as much as everybody else did. Everybody was geeking out, especially God, now I can't think of Eddie's passing and such like that. But it was Stranger Things up on its game.
As a guy who grew up in the 70s in West Virginia playing Dungeons and Dragons and was banned because of the Satanic Panic and all that, it hit close to home this season. So,
oh my goodness. Let me get back to that. The Orville, great job.
This season is amazing. Some of the best science fiction I've seen in years.
Yeah, when they put in the commercial, it was worth the wait. Yes, it is really worth the wait.
I wish Doctor Who had this writing right now, because it would be, that level has been amazing.
And you know who it is? Every time you see the writers and it's classic Star Trek folks. All of them.
They brought back great writers.
Right, everybody. I'm just like, what? Can we put these people in real Star? I'm in real Star Trek, but I meant into current Star Trek.
New Worlds is doing pretty good. I like New Worlds. I will say that it's been pretty solid. So.
I personally, I hate to say it in this reference, until Kurtzman leaves, I'm not fond of where Star Trek's going. I'm watching Orville to get my Star Trek, and I've heard Strange New World, so I might break pattern, but I just like since
New Worlds has been fun. I liked the animated one. Lower Decks was a lot of fun too, but I like when my sci-fi has fun. But I will say, what other shows I've enjoyed recently sci-fi was I recently got into Resident Alien. I had missed how good that is with Alan Tudyk.
I do want to see that.
And it was really good. It's way better than I anticipated for a one joke show, and it turned into it's something awesome. So,
it's Alan Tudyk, but he's been doing like off comedy stuff. But when I heard the premise, I'm like, well, is it going to be how much cheese are they going to put into it? But everybody's told me that they have seen it, which is not that many. Which interesting. But they said it's a good show. You got to watch.
Just got into Alan season 2, and it's great. So.
Let's see here. Daleks Rock. I was going to ask if Hal was brought up here because I got spam like on Facebook. Haha, sorry for my weird work schedule lately. No, you're fine.
Hey.
Dan Holyfield, had to be you, Dalek Dan. Yeah, there you go. Dan, Dalek Dan. There should be a Dalek Dan. I haven't changed the title page. And Mike Bites, Melanie, jump on. There's some empty seats.
Yep.
I wasn't expecting the seats to empty out that quickly, but that's fine. I'm sort of catching up, but yeah, I had so much fun at the con. And Dan, I can't thank you enough. I can't thank Denise enough. You two have really... I also want to thank Michael and Roni, who are two good friends of mine who were watching the booth when we were taking off and going out doing our panels and stuff. I want to thank those two as well. Everybody can't... Oh, sorry. Oh, well. Let us know what you're having. Tom, yes, Ramona posted a pic of Dalek Hal, and I didn't know of the name. Okay, well now you do. The other picture that I am very proud of, and there's a great story behind it. But
yes,
I love this picture.
That's great.
It was a crazy moment to get this picture because you can see that roped off area.
Yeah,
I swear the army was going to come out if you dared cross that. And I understand.
He was so overjoyed to see the Dalek too.
Yes,
it was great. That's a genuine smile on his face. I mean, I've seen a lot of photos from the con, and none of them look like that. He is just pure joy.
Yeah, he couldn't hold the traveling TARDIS. I got it, and I'm at his age with COVID and everything. I don't want to take a chance. But he allowed it to sit next to him, so I was very happy about that. So, yep.
We did a photo with him a few years ago where we were trying to do rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock, and he couldn't do rock because of the arthritis in his hands. So we just kind of he was just around. Mm-hmm. So it was fun though.
Dan, because Dan changed the name of Dalek Hal's Facebook page. At some point, it wouldn't let me tag. It does at some point, and it didn't. I don't know. It was like a hit or miss at that point, but it's still facebook.com/Dalek Hal, HAL. Christian had some confusions why you can tag me. Should have put it on its own rather than just updating the post. This is the new tag. So anybody, it's not Dalek Hal, it's Daleks of Arrakis. I hope I'm not that right. So Daleks of Arrakis is the new page. Also Peacemaker, Umbrella Academy, and The Boys.
Oh, all great shows.
I see. Normally, what I've been doing is I don't really care to spoil myself on that. I go on YouTube because if I'm going to spend a whole time geeking out, but binge watching, The Boys are something I would, if I had time to, I would watch. That looks incredible. That looks so.
Peacemaker was way better than I expected. Umbrella, I think this season kind of stumbled a little bit for me in places, but it was still solid. I'm looking forward to Lock and Key, and I watched the first few episodes of Sandman, and it's such a slow burn, but that was the way the comics were. So I know it's going to be great, but it is definitely an investment.
I'm just saying it in this route. I'm going to be honest. I'm jealous with people who have time to make time to find and watch entertainment because I can't.
Agreed.
I wanted to get through the Orville, and I think we binge watched for like 2 or 3 hours, and then we gave up. It was just like, oh, there's more episodes. I'm like, we can't. We've got to go to bed. We got to be up and working tomorrow. So,
yeah.
Edward, Roger Delgado. It was so sad to hear how he passed.
Yeah,
really impacted the show. I know, and that's when you can safely say that the show kind of started to not go downhill, but things were changing. Things were on the way out because he was an integral part of the Third Doctor, and for his loss, that it didn't, you didn't have your Moriarty to your Sherlock Holmes anymore. Strange New Worlds is very much like the original series. I think I'll check it out. It's like I said, Andrew, it's one of those things. If I have time, I'll do it. If I don't have time, I tell people I still have that Firefly DVD sitting on top of the DVD player with only one episode played, and it's just because I haven't pushed the play button. I just haven't had time. There's Dan. Denise was amazing. I appreciate all her help at the con, and she seems she's also going to be my handler for other events. Yeah. She's very trustworthy. She's very sweet. She's very nice. She cosplayed the 13th Doctor. I will put her videos out as the weeks progress. But, it's funny to watch. You can actually see 13 and Hal dancing together. The new page is Daleks of Orcas. Yes. Umbrella Academy was good. Okay. I'll take your word for it. It's no problem at all. And thank you for inviting me. Can't wait for the next event. Me neither. I don't know when that's going to be.
Christian, I'm afraid I have to run.
So, no,
you're gonna be the last man. There can be only one. So
I guess there will have to be one there. So you know what? Don't really want to do this, but I think we can end the show early, unless anybody wants to throw in some more chats. We've gotten through the chats. We basically kind of went into the final half hour, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. Well, let's go ahead and end the show. We'll have an episode next week.
I'm sorry, gang. Yeah, I didn't realize. I just got jumped on the notice that I have another podcast to be on at 7:30. So
that's fine.
But love y'all, and catch me Erie Travels.
Everybody's abandoning me for other podcasts. What is this show comes?
Tuesday nights are becoming podcast night. No, I got books to sell, man. So that's the way.
That's fair enough. I fair enough out there. So,
but I will see you at one of the cons soon, hopefully. So, yeah, Christian can hang on. That's fine. Yeah, Christian.
I'll hang out for just a little bit more. I mean, I think we've had our discussion for tonight. I mean, if there's anything,
absent friends.
Yeah, absent friends. I think Mark said, did any of his chats come through? You can go ahead and go. I just want to make sure. I thought they might have, Mark. I'm looking. Huh. Mark, they did not. Mark Morrison, they did not. I'm not sure if you want to go to the YouTube channel or anything of that nature. Faber. Hey, Christian, feel free to keep talking. You like that, don't you? Okay, I'll keep talking for just a little bit. I don't know who's there out there. We still got people watching. So, Tampa Bay Comic-Con was great. We're going to be working, hopefully, with another. The Sandman was really good. Okay. Christian can ask Christian, what are your top 10 Big Finish stories? Oh, God. The funny part is I think I actually have them. I'm doing this off the top of my head, Andrew, and I don't think I can get to 10 because my brain's fried. Holy Terror is still my favorite. That has the shape-shifting penguin. God, why is names just not getting to my head? Colin Baker. Holy Terror is still kind of my top one to go to. Scherzo. Anything by Rob Sherman. Scherzo, The Holy Terror, both of those. Gosh, I got the Big Finishes over there, but I'm afraid the Onto one. Fall to Earth. I think that's the one. It is such a cool episode of Torchwood. It is simply, the premise is Ianto is being launched in the first space plane, and he wakes up in the space plane as it's crashing down to Earth. And the only way that his life will be saved is a woman who's selling him insurance over the phone. That is the premise of the episode Fall to Earth. It is hysterical. It is funny. It is tragic. It is basically the best of Torchwood wrapped up in Big Finish audio. So Fall to Earth with Ianto is one that I would highly recommend if you get out there. Last Man Standing is usually me. Yeah, that's you. Check Dan over out on his YouTube channel called Last Man Standing. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Dan. Frobisher. Yeah, there we go. I knew my friends would come through. Like I said, it's kind of late. I'm getting through there. Hello, Cyborg. How you doing? Just checking in. Is this coming through? Yes. Yes, it is. Mark. It should. Yeah, it came through. I'm not exactly sure why the Facebook, if you were on there on the Facebook. The Stone Rose was good. Okay. Check that out. Big Finish is awesome. Yeah, Big Finish is always awesome. I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember. You know what? It's my CDs. My favorites are the ones that I have on CD, but let me see here if I can just pull it up. I'm going to try to see if I can. Because some of them I did purchase for the audio. Oh, I can't even type. Big Finish. That's how bad I am. Let me see here. The ones that I am trying to think. Relative Dimensions, which is a good Christmas story. It has the Eighth Doctor and Susan. And I don't want to tell you too much about that story because there's a fun little thing, but it also involves another story. It can be a one-off by itself, but it also could be part of the. See, and that's why I need a team to help me out. Hello, Janine. Thanks for coming by there. The Silver Turk. Yes, I do love the Silver Turk. Chimes of Midnight. I'm trying to remember what that one was. I've been meaning to get the ones for River. Oh, the Diary of River song. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just literally going through my phone. A Big Finish, trying to remember which ones I really like. No, I'm not downing any of them. A lot of these are really great stories. They're scared. So, I wanted to listen to Scaredy Cat. We haven't finished Stranded. You didn't have to do that, Mark. Get Christian a pint. Thank you. If you want to put in a super chat, I'm not going to stop you. Every little bit counts. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. There's a lot of the stuff I haven't even heard yet. Juggernauts, yes. By Scott. That was a good one. Terry Malloy's Davros. That was a really good one. I love that. You kind of knew. The only bad thing about it is you kind of knew what was going on in the story. Everything was being played out. The Ravagers with the Ninth Doctor series, the first episode back as the Ninth Doctor on Big Finish, the Ravagers. I heard the one Doctor, it was really weird. I liked it, but it was just weird. The Ratings War with Beep the Meep. I love that one. The Silver Turk. I was okay with the Silver Turk, actually. Minuet in Hell. Yes, Minuet in Hell. I love the premise on the Minuet in Hell, especially the whole premise is that the Doctor wakes up in an insane asylum with another guy who's pretending to be the doctor, or at least we think he is, but he knows more than what or at least knows what the doctor is. The Sirens of Time, which was the first episode of Big Finish, which had Peter Davison, Colin Baker, and Sylvester McCoy, was a good start. It was a little bit confusing. I actually had to rewind it a bit there and find out what things were going on. It's not my favorite, but I did like it as a starter. Here's the funny part. There's so much stuff. What would happen is if I went on a long trip, like if I went to Miami or Jacksonville, I would listen to Big Finish. I just never had a chance, never had the time. The Human Frontier was very good. That is not Doctor Who, but it is Big Finish, and that's from Nick Briggs himself. I heard, I'm going to try to start this, Jenny's Daughter. And I heard the preview bit of the first episode in Jenny's Daughter. It sounded really funny. I loved it. I'm going to try to do that. The Lives of Captain Jack Volume 2. This was the episode. I don't know if you remember it, but that's the one where Captain Jack, it's hard to see on the cell phone, but it's Captain Jack having to take the role of the Sixth Doctor because, oops, something happened. The Diary of River Song and some others. Chimes of Midnight was the 8th, and Charlie, I think I have this on here. I'm going to try it. Light at the End. The Last Adventure, which was that's supposed to be the last episode of the Sixth Doctor on Big Finish. It was very, very intricate. There was a lot going on, and I loved it because it had a lot of the Doctor's previous companions helping him out with, well, I'll just say it, the Valyard popping in and out every now and then. That was the bad guy, but there it is. Thank you. Found it. Torchwood, and it's, because of the glare on the screen, but this is what the cover looks like. Torchwood Fall to Earth, and that has Iato. There we go. Takes a while for the camera to do it, but that is one of my favorites. That was my introduction to Torchwood on Big Finish, and I was like, yeah, love that one. And I'm losing some of my voice right now. Oh, the one that we reviewed, Melanie, if you're still here, The Green Life, which was the episode supposed to take place after the Green Death, and Joe meets up with Captain Jack Harkness, and those two were funny to listen to. Absolutely gorgeous. So, I mean, there's no really bad Big Finish episode. And I have some on audios. There's one with the 7th Doctor and Sherlock Holmes, which was really good. And I'm trying to remember. The Wrong Doctors was interesting. Yeah, The Wrong Doctors. I heard a little bit about that, but I'm going to try to finish it. You know what? Hang on a second. Let me see if I can get hang on. I'm coming. Oh God. Okay. That's There we go. But before I went to the app, this is my stash. So the Holy Terror is definitely my favorite. Let's see here. I heard about this. I haven't played it yet, but You Are the Doctor. This was one of those choose your own adventures. That would be awesome to do. I need to do an episode of all the Big Finish. Jago and Lightfoot meets Strax. You know what? I think I'm going to save this for another episode because we're running out of time here. Let me see. I'll give you one more. Oh, this is the one. Yeah, I showed you on the map. There it is. Fall to Earth. I hate the screen that it's just not letting it happen, but there you go. Fall to Earth. I wasn't crazy about this one. I haven't heard its entirety, but I kind of saw Trial of the Valyard. Yes, Trial of the Valyard. I think I have it somewhere in here. Luna Romana. That's one I'm trying to. Can we get Nick Briggs on? He's been on twice actually, but he's totally busy. Trust me, he's been totally busy. So yeah, Trial of the Valyard and the 5 Companions. But yeah, you can tell Nick to come on in here. But right now, Big Finish is completely nuts. That's the one. The All-Consuming Fire. And it has Nick Briggs as the Sherlock Holmes and the Seventh Doctor in it. It also has Bernice, Lisa Barrowman as Bernice Summerfield. I'm trying to finish off this one. This sounds really cool. It's vampires in the Fourth Doctor, the Labyrinth of Buddha Castle. Everybody who talks about the first female Doctor, they all forget her, Annabelle Weir, who technically is the first female Doctor in the Unbound series, playing the third Doctor, if I remember correctly. We were talking about Minuet in Hell. There you go. Good grief. No, I'm going to hold off. I'm going to do this as a separate episode one day, or I might do like a little special and go over my Big Finish collection down there. So you got a sample of what sits behind my computer, which I haven't done in quite some time. So there you go. So thank you everybody for joining us. We should have we'll let you know if we have a next episode or not next week coming up. It's just been crazy. We're still recovering over Tampa Bay. Check out Melanie. I think, did Melanie say she was going over to Faber's channel? She's going over to Earth Station Who. That's so wonderful. Thanks, Melanie. Carolina. Not just kidding. And I want to thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That's how we get the algorithms going. Well, that's it, because I'm by myself. Let's do an in-depth Big Finish episode. Thanks, Christian. I totally agree. I mean, we need to get back to Big Finish. We really need to get back to Big Finish out there. We haven't done it in quite some time, and we've just been busy. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up, and let me give the final takes out there. Don't forget to say your goodbyes, because they might get posted at the end of the episode. Thank you for joining us, folks. We're going to go ahead and end the episode today for this episode, and I can't talk because I just got off work and just did a 2-hour run, so there I am. And we'll let you know when we're hitting up our next conventions and panels and stuff for wherever we're going next. Just keep an eye out on our Facebook page. Again, we've went over to 63,000 and climbing. Facebook.com, The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, especially on our YouTube channel to help the algorithms, help out Dan and everyone over there at Dalek Hal. You can still pull it up as Facebook.com/Dalek Hal and give all the love you can for Hal and everyone over there. And join us on iHeartRadio, sci-fi.radio. You can download the app for free. It's not CBS Radio. I'll figure it out. When I figure it out, I'll change it out there. Spotify, Spreaker, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And thank you all for joining us. Please stay safe out there. And we want you to keep going because we want you to become part of the Whoniverse. I even got our tagline wrong. That's how tired I am. Please stay safe out there because we want you to continue to always become part of the legend. Stay safe and have a great night, folks.